My name is Tempest Williams, and I'm here because I care about the open space of democracy. I'm concerned about this presidential election between Mitt Romney and Barack Obama. I'm concerned because we're not having the conversations that we need to be having. I'm concerned about the erosion of any kind of conversation about public lands, about our national parks and monuments, about oil and gas, about fracking. I'm concerned because we're not talking about clean air and clean water. But nowhere am I more concerned than about the erosion of the rights of women. A woman's right to choose, our bodies, the earth, no separation. I'm concerned about our reproductive health. Each of us have gifts that we can use on behalf of the open space of democracy, in our own way, in our own time. My gift, my expression of what democracy means, not to be confused with capitalism, but democracy is about a woman's right to choose. I want to dedicate this reading from When Women Were Birds to my women friends, young and older, who think about how we want to love every single day of our lives, and who live at the heart of what it means to give and receive. And I want to dedicate this to my mother, to my grandmothers, and my great-grandmothers, and to the men we love and who love us. My body is a compass, and it does not lie. As women, we are quiet about our personal lives, especially when it comes to sex. We are quiet because there is a history of abuse and harm committed to those who tell the truth. Marriages are shattered, families are broken, judgments are rendered, the woman stands alone. Our stories live underground. Muriel Rukeyser asks the great question, what would happen if one woman told the truth of her life? The world would split open. The world is splitting open. On October 16, 1916, Margaret Sanger opened the first family planning and birth control center on 46 Amboy Street in the Brownsville neighborhood of Brooklyn. 9 days later, it was raided by police. Margaret Sanger, the leader of the modern-day birth control movement, spent 30 days in prison. She would be arrested 7 more times in her 87 years of living for speaking out on behalf of a woman's right to birth control and the privacy of her own body. H.G. Wells stated in a 1931 dinner speech in Margaret Sanger's honor, quote, "The movement she started will grow to be 100 years from now the most influential of all time in controlling man's destiny on earth." I wonder what Margaret Sanger would be talking about now. I wonder what she would be thinking about the conversations that we're having and not having. I suspect she would be speaking the word vagina. When we were children, we visited Mother in the hospital. We were told she was having corrective surgery. Later I would learn that she made the decision to have her tubes tied, not a common practice among her Mormon peers. Freedom, she would tell me. Birth control gave me my voice. It's perhaps the only thing in my life about which I've been utterly responsible. I have never had an abortion, but I was grateful that I had the choice before me. I was a senior at Highland High School in Salt Lake City, Utah. In 1973, when the landmark case Roe v. Wade was decided before the Supreme Court. It was a decision that gave us confidence as young women entering sexual maturity, that we did have control over our own bodies. No woman terminates a pregnancy easily. No woman who has ever felt life inside her can negate that power. It is never a decision made lightly, without love or pain or a prayer toward forgiveness. Because what every woman knows each month when she bleeds is, I am not pregnant. Because what every woman understands each time she makes love is, life could be in the making now. Which is why when a woman allows a man to enter her, it is not just a physical act, but an act of surrendering to the possibility that her life may no longer be hers alone. Because until she bleeds, she will check her womb every day for the stirrings of life. Because until she bleeds, she wonders if her life will be 1 or 2 or 3. Because until she bleeds, she imagines every possibility from pleasure to pain to birth to death, and how she will do what she needs to do. And until she bleeds, she will worry endlessly until she bleeds. If a man knew what a woman never forgets, he would love her differently. No, I have never had an abortion, but I know the tenderness of many women who have. It is much more common than we choose to admit. We have gone underground. This is the conversation we are not having. The abortions we have experienced are an intrinsic part of who we are and what we have become, and it is deeply private. Just recently I learned that 3 of my closest friends, call them my sisters, have all had abortions. We never discussed it. It's not something we ever talked about. I didn't know. One involved a genetic disease. Another was a situation that would have imperiled her marriage. And another was a pregnancy in college that would have changed the course of a woman's life. We make a choice. This is our legal and spiritual right in the United States of America. We deserve to make this choice without the judgment of others. There is nothing abstract about giving birth. There is nothing more sobering than for a woman to place her hands on her belly and wonder what is the right thing to do. It is always about love. It is never done lightly. And there is nothing more demeaning for a woman than to have a man, especially a man she does not know, define the laws that will govern our milk and blood. Milk and blood. Why these 2 words? Because milk, as in cow, as in breast, as in semen, as in any substance that nurtures and nourishes at once, is at the heart of pleasure. Because we drink deeply. Because we drink deeply out of need and desire. Because blood, as in flow, as in menses, as in moon, as in cycle, means I am not pregnant. Because what every woman understands each time she makes love is, life could be in the making now. Which is why, when a woman allows a man to enter her, it is not just a physical act, but a spiritual one. Milk and blood. Because milk is what we desired first, because blood is what flows through our working hearts. Milk and blood, men and women, pleasure and pain. Love is to life what life is to death, and so we risk everything, trying to touch the ineffable by touching each other. Over and over, again and again, with little control, we lose our minds as we lose each other in fire. If a man knew what a woman never forgets, he would love her differently. I'm Terry Tempest Williams. Won't you join me in this presidential election and vote for a woman's right to choose?